A thread by Carlos Osuida. Every day and in every way, President Trump's enemies give sane people more reasons to not vote for Biden. This is one of the most suicidal blunders I've ever seen. From Breitbart, Democrats reveal radical platform. Biden a doorway, not a destination. Quote, titled The People's Charter, the new initiative provides a radical roadmap of progressive ambitions, claiming it can heal the wounds from the pandemic, the economic depression, and a history of racism. Here 'tis, peoplescharter.us. Combine this with Biden's own platform, and he's non viable. He supports the Green New Deal. That's all you need to know. Nothing else matters. From joebiden.com, Plan for Climate Change and Environmental Justice. Joe Biden. Remember how Trump set records for primary voting before the pandemic? Well, people are standing in line for 10 hours as we speak in order to vote in person. They won't attend Biden rallies, but are standing in line for 10 hours for him? Not a chance. Trump voters. Team Trump knows where to punch and punch hard. Link in the thread, YouTube. Joe Biden is a liar who has been ripping off our country for years. And we have another viral video. Adding up all the news on several sites, it's well over 2 million. Link in the thread, Joe Collins, Mansion Maxine. What in God's name is this? Just this year, deadly crime spiked 15% in South LA. Black America, did you know that California treats Black Americans like this? Why hasn't the city removed this thing? Today, the president of Disney explained that California is preventing Disneyland from reopening because the government won't be pushed around. He said the state is not negotiating with him. They're simply issuing decrees based on nothing. Certainly not science. And good old AOC did her bit to alienate Christians even more. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez tweeted, sick and tired of Republicans who co-opt faith as an excuse to advance bigotry and barbarism. Fact is, if today Christ himself came to the floor of Congress and repeated his teachings, many would malign him as a radical and eject him from the chamber. According to AOC, all you religious folks are bigoted barbarians. The U.S. Constitution itself is bigoted and barbaric. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof. Guess what happens if Biden gets in? Social justice will take precedence over religious freedom. But Team Trump is smarter than all Democrats and leftists combined. Look what they goaded the press into doing. Greg Sargent tweeted, the New York Post story some are tweeting about has a huge falsehood in it. Story claims Biden pushed for the ouster of the Ukrainian prosecutor when he was investigating Burisma. Flatly false. And the ouster was backed by international institutions. Wow. Now the press reports on the story. The voters look into it and they reject the convoluted inside the beltway thinking that exonerates Biden. Trump has reawakened American common sense. There's a famous quote about the Battle of Waterloo that finally defeated Napoleon Bonaparte once and for all. The battle is why the term Waterloo now means that person's destruction. It was his Waterloo. The quote is by Arthur Wellesley, 1st Duke of Wellington. Wellington came very near to losing. Quote, it has been a damned nice thing. The nearest run thing you ever saw in your life. We've come out of the nearest run thing we ever saw in our lives, and we owe it all to Trump. Obama And then Hillary would have been the end. Poor Tim Pool is still complaining about how we could have done better than Trump because Trump isn't presidential. Tim is all about losing with honor. He's actually admitted it in plain English. Madness. Sacrificing 330 million people out of a refusal to be plain spoken, maintaining a cheap facade. If Trump weren't plain spoken, he would have lost. But Tim's preferred presidents are Tulsi Gabbard and Andrew Yang, as bad as Biden. Gabbard's actually worse because she's essentially an agent of the Iranian mullahs. But Yang supports the Green New Deal and equally oppressive legislation. At least they're nice about it.
I will be the greatest president that God ever created.